Breaking, new hypercar from Red Bull. Red Bull's engineer Adrian Newey has been engaged in creating projects that are outside of F1 for quite a long time. One of these projects is the newest hypercar RB17, as plans were revealed in Milton Keynes in the UK. There are some interesting features in this hypercar, and considering the fact that Red Bull is on to make some big splash this season, it will most likely be a very popular and wanted one. So, let's not spend any second less, and let's start with the introduction of RB17, the hypercar that is set to blow things up from Red Bull. This car would be completely made and produced by Red Bull, as they have previously had experience in the hypercar industry by creating a joint project with Aston Martin. The car's name is Valkyrie, and if we're to judge by that project, Red Bull knows a thing or two about hypercars overall. The main guy in this project will be Adrian Newey, who is also the chief engineer of the Red Bull F1 team, and the company that will be responsible for the development of this car is Red Bull Advanced Technologies. According to Newey, it was only natural for the team to pursue their own hypercar project. If you're going to do a track, it's like, okay, what do you set as its attributes? And the thing we decided on was Formula 1 levels of performance, but in something that is relatively comfortable, relatively easy to run, and you can drive at whatever speed you see comfortable with, up to its performance limit of Formula 1 levels, Newey added. The black canvas concept is really popular with Newey. As a matter of fact, it has been his trademark, as many engineers have saluted him for this concept. With that being said, Newey got a taste of what it is like to design a car without any limitations back in 2010, as he was responsible for the design of the Gran Turismo video game series. The car's name was Red Bull X 2010, as the single-seater had 1,400 horsepower and it was able to beat the F1 track record at Suzuki by 20 seconds during a simulator run. On the other hand, Newey didn't really apply the same principle regarding the RB17 hypercar, as he has faced a more realistic approach here. Of course, it has physics regulations. We need to patch in two people, and you have got to assume that at least one of those is quite tall. So, you have all these constraints. We really need to use existing tires. So, we have a few constraints. We need to make sure the car is safe, of course. But outside of that, this is effectively a no-rules car with the constraint of carrying two people rather than the single person of the 2010 PlayStation car, said Newey. With that being said, it's very easy to get excited about the RB17 hypercar, as we are almost 100% sure that Newey and his team will not disappoint in the design of the car. So, let's explain everything that we know so far about his famous and very anticipated project. The development of the RB17 is currently ongoing for the Red Bull Advanced Technologies, but it's worth mentioning that Christian Horner expects it to be up and running within 12 months. Therefore, the starting deliveries of the car will happen around 2024 according to the team's boss. The production number of this particular hypercar will be limited to 50 and the production rate will be 14 per year. Plus, there will be prototypes that will be used for development and testing. The future owners of this car will be included directly with the Red Bull racing team. This will happen in different ways, such as access to simulators, vehicle program development, and on-track training and experiences. Plus, the factory will give continuous support and maintenance tailored to each owner of this car. One couldn't help but wonder, how did the car receive its name? Well, the name RB17 is related to the world pandemic of COVID-19. Because hadn't the pandemic happened, the F1 technical regulations wouldn't freeze and last year's Red Bull F1 car would have been called the RB17. However, the carryover to cut costs was enforced between 2020 and 2021, and Red Bull decided to name its car RB16B. So, for the team to keep in line with the names and the years that they are produced, they decided to name the 2022 car the RB18, so the RB17 hasn't seen the light of the day. The RB17 will use a twin-turbo V8 engine, as the output target will be around 1,100 horsepower. However, the company hasn't still made the decision on who will be producing the powertrain. The cost of the car will be around £5 million, and along with tax, it should come to £6 million. We are now considering how we do that. As you know, we now have our own in-house Red Bull powertrains, a young company. Equally, we can look to other specialists, so we are in that process at the moment, said Newey. When you say hypercar, the first thing that comes to mind is speed. This is why the RB17 will push to be in the same ballpark as an F1. This means that the same methodologies and processes will be involved in the development of the car. as Newey has said out loud and clear that this would be a circuit specific car. Of course, it will be circuit specific. The big battle really is weight. Once you kind of do a car that's big enough to take 2 people with a roof on for practicality and safety for most people, then automatically the car becomes heavier than a Formula 1 car. It's then doing all the other things you need to do to try and achieve that performance, Newey said. However, one thing has really disappointed the fans of hypercars, and that is that this car won't be road legal. Unlike the joint project Valkyrie, this car won't be a road-going production one. It's less central to our DNA. At this stage as a company, we're starting much more from what we know, and I think if it was a road car and designed as a road car, you'd be tied into higher numbers, which is not something we feel comfortable doing at this point in time, said Newey. So it seems like the team doesn't like to invest in road legal cars, and one could understand why from what Newey said. However, Red Bull wouldn't be Red Bull without their 2 superstars Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. Therefore, it's only natural for these 2 beasts to be included in the car's development, as this will be implemented as a part of Red Bull's push to harness all of its F1 insights for the RB17. Max drove to Valkyrie on occasion. I think he's a customer of that vehicle as well. Whether they choose to buy one of these cars will be down to them, but we will certainly be looking to use all the skill sets that we have in the test and development of these vehicles, added Horner. However, one couldn't help but ask, will the RB17 be a better hypercar than the Valkyrie? After all, it could be one of the reasons why Red Bull decided to go solo in this project and not be just joint partners. According to Newey, the RB17 will have significantly more performance than the Valkyrie, and a huge part of this goes to the fact that the car will not be road legal. The Valkyrie was conceived as a road car, and with that of course comes various limitations compared to when you're purely chasing performance. I think the biggest thing of course, as we said earlier, is trying to keep weights down, so there'll be lots on that. Power is almost the relatively easy bit nowadays, such as the advancement in engine technology. Then it's just really making sure the aerodynamics are the other big contributor is performing well, and there are quite a few tricks from the past that we'll be using to achieve that, finished Newey. We are very excited about this project, and we believe that every F1 fan in the world is too. Therefore, it's up to us to wait until 2024 and see what kind of car will be the RB17, as we put our hopes in Newey that he will not disappoint with his ingeniousness. What do you think will come out of this project? Do you think that the RB17 will be a beast on the track? Or do you think that somehow Red Bull won't be able to push through in the hypercar market with their newborn? Let us know in the comments, as we really appreciate your opinion.